Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving into a significant achievement in artificial intelligence from Google DeepMind.
Welcome back. Today we're diving into something that honestly feels like it's straight out of science fiction. I'm talking about the power to create entire playable worlds with, you guessed it, just a few words. I mean, really think about that for a second. What if you could just describe a world? Say, a cyberpunk city drenched in neon rain, or a forgotten jungle temple, and then boom, you're inside it. You can play in it. Well, that's not sci-fi anymore. That's exactly what we're breaking down today. So the magic behind this is a new AI from Google DeepMind called Genie 2. And yeah, just like a genie in a bottle, it can pretty much grant your wish for any world you can imagine, creating these endless, playable environments from just a simple idea. But, to really get why Genie 2 is such a massive deal, we gotta take a quick step back. We need to talk about a huge problem that's been slowing down AI research for a long, long time. It's all about how these AIs learn. So here's the thing. The biggest roadblock to building a truly smart general AI has always been a lack of places for it to train. Think about it like this. Imagine you're training a pilot, but they only ever get to use one flight simulator for one type of plane, and only in perfect sunny weather. Sure, they get really good at that one thing, but what happens when they face a storm or a different plane? They can't adapt. And for a very long time, that's exactly the problem AI has had. And this really highlights the core issue. On one hand, you've got these AI agents trained in these super limited, one-size-fits-all digital sandboxes. They get good at that sandbox, but that's it. On the other hand, to get to real general intelligence, you need to train an AI on an endless variety of new and rich worlds. It's a huge gap. And bridging it? That's been the holy grail for a while now. And that is where Genie 2 comes in. It's the breakthrough. It was built specifically to solve this exact training problem. And it's not just another piece of software. Not by a long shot. It's a totally new way of thinking about building worlds for AI. Okay, so the technical term is a foundation world model. But I think a much cooler way to think about it is like a dream engine. See, Genie wasn't trained by engineers writing a bunch of code about physics. No, it was trained by just watching millions of internet videos. And from all that footage, it started to figure out the unspoken rules of how our world works. Gravity, cause and effect, how things move. So it doesn't just spit out a pretty picture. It builds a whole simulation where it just knows intuitively that if your character jumps, it has to come back down. And what's so wild is that all of these amazing abilities, they weren't programmed in. They just emerged from the training. Things like complex object interactions, super lifelike character animations, even a gut feel for physics and predicting what a character will do next. The model figured all of this out by itself. And right now, it can create these stable, playable worlds that last for up to a minute. That might not sound long, but in this field, it is a huge leap. Okay, so that's all the incredible tech working under the hood. But what does this actually mean for us, for you? How do you go from just an idea in your head to a world you can actually play in? Well, the process is almost shockingly simple. It's basically a three-step process. Step 1, you just describe what you want. You write a text prompt, something simple like a cute little robot in a forest. Then, step 2, an image AI, like Imagen 3, creates a still picture based on your description. And then, here comes the magic. Step 3, Genie 2 takes that one single image and just brings it to life as a fully playable 3D world that you can control. It's incredible. And listen to this. This is a quote from the DeepMind team that just shows how smart this thing is. They said, our model has to figure out that arrow keys should move the robot and not the trees or clouds. I mean, think about that. Nobody told it what a player character is. It just watched videos and figured out, oh, okay, the person pressing buttons probably wants to move that thing, not the background. It learned the concept of a protagonist all on its own. Okay, but as amazing as all that is, creating infinite worlds isn't even the craziest part. Genie 2 has this hidden superpower, and it might be its single most important contribution to AI research. It all comes down to the power of asking, what if? This superpower has a fancy name, counterfactuals. Now, that sounds complicated, but the idea is actually super simple. It's the ability to see what would happen if you did things differently, to explore all the different possible outcomes from the exact same starting point. The best way to think of it is like a choose-your-own-adventure book, but for an AI. It gets to explore every single page, every single path, all at once. And this is way more than just a cool party trick. This is absolutely revolutionary for teaching an AI. Why? Because it lets an AI agent learn from millions of different choices and see all their consequences. It creates this incredibly rich experience that you could just never get from playing through one single unchangeable world. Okay, to make this crystal clear, let's walk through a quick example. So let's say our starting point is this. We've got a cute little robot just standing still in a forest. That's our frame one. Now watch what happens. From that single moment in time, we can explore two completely different futures. In scenario one, let's say the user presses the up arrow. The result? The robot walks forward. Makes sense. But now let's go back to that exact same starting frame. This time, the user presses the spacebar. And in the second scenario, the robot jumps in place. Genie can simulate both of these outcomes and literally thousands more, all from that one identical starting point. And that is the secret sauce for AI training. An AI agent can now ask, what if? Millions of times a second for any given moment. It can learn from every single possible action and its results, building this incredibly deep, nuanced understanding of how to behave in its environment. It's learning through massive, parallel experience. All right, so let's quickly wrap up the big takeaways here. First, Genie 2 can create playable 3D worlds from just one image. That's huge. Second, it smashes through that critical training bottleneck we talked about. Third, it uses this incredible power of counterfactuals to let an AI learn from basically infinite possibilities. And all of this together, it's paving the way for the next generation of truly smart general-purpose AI. So that leaves us with one final big question to chew on. If an AI can learn and practice inside an infinite number of different realities, if it can master skills and solve problems again and again and again in all these simulated worlds, what kind of impossibly hard problems is it finally going to be able to solve for us, right here in our one real world?
Don't forget, like and share to spread AI knowledge.